few words about why we are back in Auckland. I have to weigh my words carefully because I have a history myself in Auckland, and I have obviously arrived here many times in this race. Back to my first arrival here was in 1993, and I still remember that arrival very, very well. And I still remember even better my 97 arrival when I was skipper for the first time, and the taxi driver who took me to the little apartment I had a bit further south from the city. He stopped in the middle of the whole trip and asked me, why did you make that last tack? Because I lost the boat just a few minutes before the start finish track. And it's the only taxi driver that's ever asked me why I tacked in my whole life. But I'm really, really happy that we're back in New Zealand. Why we are back, I think there's a few things that we're saying. One thing is that the race has changed a lot. The world has changed a lot. Today we are in China, we're in the Middle East. The race has new friends, new territories. And then on the other side, there is something called history and legacy. I'd like to say one thing, that we're not only back in New Zealand because of history and legacy. We are back in New Zealand because New Zealand wanted the race. And they really wanted the race, and they wanted to do a good event with us. And I think New Zealand has changed too. And certainly when I came down in the viaduct not so many months ago, and I think about the pictures I have from my first experience, the viaduct has changed completely over the last years. And it's a new viaduct, and I think New Zealand is certainly part of this route. It was a bit annoying for me when I took over the race last time, very close to the start, and I didn't have much influence in choosing the ports. But the whole fleet actually raced just by Auckland in the last race. In a very, very long leg from China to Rio de Janeiro. And that was very hard to explain and understand. But I think both myself and the owners of Volvo Ocean Race, Volvo Cars and Volvo Group are extremely pleased to be back in Auckland. I think we have all learned to celebrate the enthusiasm that is in Auckland for the sport and for the race and the history, but also the fact that we believe Auckland will, with us, host a fantastic event. And that is really what we're looking forward to. And now we're just going to have the guys speeding up a little bit so they get there even quicker. But we will have a weekend finish in Auckland, which can never be bad, which I think is great. I'm looking forward to that.
Great, thank you, Knut. Any update on how the boats are going, when we're expecting to receive them here in Auckland?
You know, it's a funny thing with this offshore sailing and race around the world, and we currently we have been in the last 6-7 years to a lot of new countries where they don't have a lot of sailing history. And the journalist always asks, how the hell can we cover this race? Because we have no idea when they're going to finish. And I always reply the same thing. I say that, well, that's the whole beauty of this race. It's one of the last few things in the whole world which is unpredictable. And the rest of the things in our lives today, we're trying to predict every single second and put it in our Blackberries, in our computers, and make sure that we don't waste any minutes anywhere. But this race, Mother Nature still rules. Anything can happen. Right now, Groupama should be here sometime Saturday afternoon, evening, 5-ish. That can change. It will change. The wind will change, and they will make some good or some bad decisions, and depending on that, they will come a little bit quicker or a little bit slower. But it will be sometimes on Saturday, we're pretty confident.
Excellent, thank you. So I'd like to invite Tom Mayo just to give us a bit more detail about what the event and the visitor experience will really be like down here in the viaduct. Over to you, Tom.
Thanks, Rachel, and thanks, Knut. It's going to be an interesting 9 a.m. tomorrow morning when we eventually open the venue. Like you say, it's been a long time coming, and I think the first time it dawned on us is when we went to Alicante for the race start, and it's so impressive to see what's brought around the world. It's so impressive to see the amount of equipment that comes into New Zealand, and it really is. It's a global sports event with an amazing footprint. Now, matching that footprint to what is undeniably one of the best harbours in the world, it's been a tricky situation. It's not hard to try and it's not easy trying to put all of these things together, and it takes so many key stakeholders, and these key stakeholders have to be thanked. From our sponsors that have jumped on board, from the charitable trust that are supporting us, to the marine industry. I mean, they've been right behind us, and it's been key for us is just trying to link in the marine industry into this event. And that's when we said, look, come together on this journey. I mean, there's a lot of people they want to make contact with, and hence what you'll see next door is when we go on the tour is the best of New Zealand Marine, and they're in there, and they're showcasing their product to people that are not only here in the race village, but also the teams that are here as well. In fact, many of those companies already have a direct direct link to those teams. So it's really solidifying that relationship. So that's great to see, and we know we're going to get some good business out of this, and that's key for us. The trickiest part as well is, the hundreds of thousands of people that love the race, love the event. And you can always tell in the coffee shop when people tap you on the shoulder, you say, I hear the boats, when are they coming, what can we do, and how can we do it? And, I've got to say, there's over 120 bands and acts that are going through this event. We've got a King Neptune Kids Parade, which you'll see tomorrow morning on breakfast. It's great. We've got mascots. I may be dressed up as one. Going through the venue, there's about 40, 50 performers being part of that, and that's twice a day. But we go from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, and it's designed for everybody. Okay, whatever your background, it's designed for different ethnic communities. We've got Chinese Day, we've got a USA Day, we've got a French Day, we've got a Spanish Day. So we're trying to bring in everybody. Auckland is a multicultural city, and we're really trying to showcase what is an amazing event. So you can sort of come down here, learn about the Volvo Ocean Race, and really pick up on the heritage of what's been an amazing partnership with Auckland over time.
Great, thank you.